We're live. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. We decided to do a coach opportunity call so that we could give some feedback on things that we hear from people all the time when you ask them if you want to be a coach or if you've ever thought about being a coach. And I think anyone out there, when they presented this opportunity to somebody, they get the whole deer in the headlights look because it's pressure, it's scary. So I want to take a few minutes to kind of address what is involved with coaching, because I think that there's a lot of assumptions, because a lot of people watch us, like Melissa Bartow and Melissa Gallimay, and everybody runs their business differently. And I don't want anybody to think that you have to do what we do, so I thought that I would do a call, and I'm going to do one once a month, and I kind of have some guest speakers on from people on my team so that you kind of understand that this is our own business and everybody runs it differently, and you have the same opportunity to do this as well. A little story about me. Some of you probably know me from school or have been following me on Facebook, but I hate working out, and one of my friends locally said the other day, she's like, it's kind of amazing what an inspiration you are and the business that you've built and the amount of people you've helped, and you don't even like working out. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that so many people think that if you're a coach, you have to be some, fitness enthusiast and have, long, time experience with working out, or you have to reach your goal weight, or you have to have a six-pack abs, and all those things are just myths. And Melissa and well, we have two Melissas on the call tonight. They're going to share their fears too, because we all had our own fears, our own reservations, and still, I've been a coach for almost 2.5 years, and there's still things that I struggle with and things that I'm fearful of, and so a lot can go misunderstood just by Facebook and social media. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes and a lot of things that you guys probably don't know about. So I thought we'd take some time to share this. When I became a coach, it was 13 days into my journey. I had purchased the P90X Challenge Pack through a stranger, Becky, that I met on Facebook, and I took a chance on her, and I really it had to do with because I watched her. I was like, okay, this looks like somebody. It had nothing to do with her knowledge or expertise per se, but as far back as I could go, it looked like fitness had been something that she had taken seriously. So I didn't feel the fact that she was a stranger that she would bail on me. It looked like she kind of had some roots there, and that's a big thing. And that's one thing that I share is I'm not going anywhere. I love Beachbody. I don't have to like working out. It would probably be a little bit easier, but everybody's different. So I purchased the P90X Challenge Pack only because of the fact that I wanted results, and I didn't know that there was any other programs available through Beachbody, and I honestly thought this was not going to work, and I was going to return it and get my money back, because there is a 30-day money back guarantee, no questions asked. But Becky worked with me. She checked up on me. I mean, she texted me the day that my challenge pack arrived. Did you get it? Have you opened it? She answered some questions. Was very, very overwhelmed, and she put me in a private accountability group. And that's scary for a lot of people because the fact that you're with strangers, and the biggest thing for most people is their fear of being judged. And it was kind of scary because she said, can I put you in one of my groups? And I said, oh, well, I guess, what do I have to do? And she's like, you don't have to do anything. It's just there for motivation and encouragement, and everybody gives feedback. And I didn't realize how important it was until I did it, because it was hard with P90X. I'd never really worked out. I was out of shape. They were long workouts. They're very extreme. And it was nice to know when I was part of this group that everybody else understood what I was going through, and there was people who started after me, and there was people who started, before me, or people who were almost finishing the program, and so we could all bounce ideas off. So it could have been easily discouraging to wake up and feel like my body had been beat up overnight because I was so sore from not working out, and because it is intense. But everybody encouraged me, and that really got it where I was able to kind of vocalize it, and I realized that there's a power there to be able to share things publicly. And so I started sharing things on my Facebook, and I took before pictures, but I did not take before measurements, and I did not own a scale. I didn't see the importance of that because, honestly, I didn't think that I would finish the program. But I could tell by my clothes that I lost a pant size, and it was just so amazing, because after being a mom for over a decade and struggling with trying to just accept the body that I was stuck in after having kids, I finally had hope. Shakeology made me feel good. I didn't struggle with cravings for the greasy fried food and bacon and stuff that was stuff that I just always craved nonstop. I noticed I wasn't drinking as much soda or coffee, and I was excited. And whenever I posted a picture, because I was excited, like most people, if anything happens in your life, you usually post it on Facebook to tell all of your friends. And I was like, oh my God, I lost the pants. Well, that post went kind of crazy. Everybody wanted that, because everybody out there, I don't care what they say, everybody wants to look better, feel better, live longer, and it's kind of hard, to know. When you know somebody who actually did something, people are interested. And at that point in time, I thought Becky was just somebody who was on payroll and worked for Beachbody. I didn't realize there was a coach opportunity. So I was like, just contact my coach, Becky. I'm like, she'll give you information. That's when she said, Mindy, you need to become a coach, and I was put on the brakes. No. And she was like, well, why not? And I said, well, what do I have to do? And she was like, nothing, you're already doing it. And I'm like, well, I just don't know if I have a lot of time. I'm like, I haven't even finished P90X. I'm like, I haven't even been doing this a month. And I said, I don't know. I said, I know nothing about this. I'm like, I don't think that I could ever inspire anybody. I'm lazy. I don't like to work out. And, she never made me feel pressured, but she just believed in me. And after every excuse that I threw, and it really wasn't an excuse, it was just that I didn't believe in myself, and it was scary. And she just said, do it, try it. It's no risk. I mean, you can cancel if you want to. And she's like, but you're already doing it. You're posting on Facebook. People are, very interested. And she was like, and if you don't want to do it, I'm not going to pressure you. But, you have all these people who are wanting to do what you're doing, and you're the one who attracted them. You should get you're the one who inspired them. You should earn the commission off that. And so I said, well, what the hell? It was a very impulse decision, and if anybody knows Becky, it took her weeks to make the decision to become a coach. So we're totally different people. We grew up in totally different lives. She's always been into fitness. I truly believe that she likes to feel like she's going to die to feel that she had an effective workout. I'm the opposite. She grew up and went to college and was married to a wonderful man, has younger children, and here I am, a total train wreck at the time. Been married 3 times, 3 kids by 3 different dads, and had problems with struggling with keeping a job, and ADD and depression, anxiety my whole entire life, and drug and alcohol problems, and I was just a really unhappy person. And so we didn't have anything really in common other than just the fact that fate brought us together, and she's become one of my best friends and my family. And what it started with is that she was just the only person who believed in me. And like I told my best friend the other day, I was like, you believed in me, Ryan believed in me, but it's kind of different because like you're my friend and you're my husband, you have to. But this was a stranger who took the chance on me, and it just set the wheels in motion that she believed in me. And I signed up on February 15th, and I'd started P90X on February 2nd. And by the end of February, I had helped enough people get started on their journey with P90X or other, Insanely or different programs that were available. And I earned enough commission that it actually covered my out-of-pocket expenses for my P90X challenge pack that I was really worried about spending $205 on. I had the money at the time, and it wasn't that I didn't have the money. I just didn't want to spend it because I didn't think I'd finish it, but I did. And if it wasn't for my coach, it wasn't for the support groups, it wasn't for somebody believing in me, I probably would have returned it or would be sitting somewhere collecting dust. And so I was able to, by simply just sharing my story, make sure that I've never had to pay for a Beachbody program or product since then because I've helped people. And it's just been amazing, and I want people to know that you don't have to be into fitness and have reached your goals. You can have slip-ups, because if anybody follows me, they know that I'm very candid. I'm like, I drink beer. I've been known to eat jumbo cupcakes that one of my best friends bakes wonderfully, and eat them on weekends. I love to go out and party it up, and I tell people that because I want you to know that I'm a real person. I see that how so many people think that they have to be perfect, and nobody's perfect. That's the beauty of this, is we all can just be ourselves and share, because the point is 80% of the time I am on track of what I'm doing, but I'm just honest. And there's so many people who think that you have to be perfect. So that's the one thing that I want to tell all of you, is that no matter where you are in your journey, no matter how many times you failed in the past, no matter how many times you slip up, you can do this. And what I really market is our team. Our team is amazing. We're not just teammates, we are family. I had a dinner last night for all of our local coaches, And I really wanted our families to get together and the spouses so that they're involved, so that they know what we're doing is for them. And, I told one of the coaches that came, I said, I know you. I know one of your daughter's name is M because my daughter's Emily. I said, but I don't know your son's name. And I said, I recognize him from Facebook. I, walk by and rub their head and was like, hey, but it's set in stone that I'm trying to help all of my people on my team reach their goals, physically, fitness-wise, health-wise, but also financially, so that they can come home and be with their families. And so I need to know who your kids are. I need to have that relationship, and I have that relationship with the people on my team, and I have that relationship with my coach and her sister, and I see how we all, Diesel Nation and Team Relentless, we just work together and we're a family, but it needs to go a little bit bigger. So that's, what one of my missions is to make sure that I get to know your whole family, because this is not just about you, this is about your whole family. And for me, it's been very addicting to be part of this company because of the fact that they truly care, and I've accomplished things. I never accomplished anything in my life besides just having children, and so I am accomplishing things. At the end of the day, I feel good about myself because I'm helping people. I've helped several of my coaches be able to either not have to return to the workforce after they had children because they built a solid business, or I've had people who have recently been able to leave their job because of the business that they have set by simply helping people and us working together. And I once thought it was impossible. I didn't think I could do it, and I was scared, and I did it. I was able, in 21 months to be able to walk away from a 10-year career in the insurance industry that I was miserable in. And I get to be home with my family, and it was scary. I've told the story recently, to people about my ex-mother-in-law just passed away, and my daughter had plans to go with some of her family friends to the beach for a week, and she'd been looking forward to it. They found out that the day of my ex-mother-in-law's funeral was going to be Saturday. The family that she was going with was not going to be able, they weren't coming home till Saturday. It was a 4-hour drive from where we are. Obviously, I'm not going to ask them to change their plans. So I was kind of at a crossroads, and I told Haley, you know what, you go. You were looking forward to this. I don't want you to stick around and be sad. I'll come pick you up. We'll come in and stay a day early. I'll bring Emily and Rebel, and we'll make a family thing about it, and then you get to hang out. And and as we're driving home, I really thought about it, that if I was still working, I would have had to tell my child that I'm sorry, you aren't going to be able to go because I'm not going to be able to get off work at 5 o'clock, drive 4 hours, and then drive back to have you here. And the thought of that, my kids lost their grandmother, who was one of the most monumental people in their life, and pretty much their only grandma they have. And I've been able to be there with them whenever she was really sick. In her final days, I was able to take them and do things and be there for them and console them. And then whenever she did pass away, I was home with them. I was able to ease the burden from my ex-husband while he took care of his family and he took care of himself, and I was able to be there for them. I didn't have to go to work and leave them here alone. And that is the biggest thing that's so important to me. And I've seen people in my team be able to have that freedom. This isn't about money. This isn't about even leaving your job that you're maybe unhappy at. This is about being there for your family, because I remember coming home tired and exhausted from working with cranky coworkers who didn't like their job either, customers who were complaining, being stuck at a desk all day long and not wanting to be there, and coming home and my kids were because they wanted to see mom. They hadn't seen me, and the first thing was like I would snap at them, just like, give me a minute, and they stopped telling me stuff, and it still is like heartbreaking to this day. And it doesn't matter because I fixed it. Like, we're moving forward. But those are the things that I know that so many of you deal with, and it's just normal, and you don't see hope. But there is a hope with this company. This is a company that's not going anywhere. The growth is tremendous. The need in the nation is really, it's not going anywhere. The health and the fitness industry is needed, and we have top of the line support and fitness and supplements and Shakeology, and we can help people. We can save lives. My coach saved my life. She saved me from myself, and that is my mission, is to be able to help people live better lives, help them come home to their family, help them that when they are with their loved ones, that it's really a quality time. So it's a little story about it, and But I just want you to sit back and look about what your day's like every day. Are you racing against the clock? Are you, pushing your kids off when you drop them off at daycare? Are you, having, to be stressed out when they get sick? I mean, tomorrow my kids have an orthodontist appointment at 2 o'clock. I can take them. Before, I had to do it on my lunch break, and it was like stressful on my lunch. I had to pick them up, sign them in. I was so scared of being late, and, you know, they didn't have lunch sometimes if I made it at that time, and it was just stressful. And when summer hit, it was like, well, I can't just pick them up from school, and it was just stressful. Now I get to take my kids and take care of their health and, their dental needs or whatever it is, and never feel like I'm letting anybody down or jeopardizing my job, or never putting a job or an employer or something else in front of my kids, and that's very important. I talked to a coach today, and I know these are some of the things that people have questions about, but my thing is, people say, well, how do you find people? I don't know anybody. I didn't really know anybody. My husband worked out of town 7 days at a time. I had 2 school-age children, and Rebel was a little over 1, and we lived 20 minutes from town. I didn't go anywhere. All my friends had pretty much ditched me once I had Rebel. We didn't go out and party anymore, live far from town, and I've done this by sharing my journey, not selling, but sharing my journey of what I'm doing, and sharing, the invitation of come do this with me. It's so much sweeter ride when you are there. I mean, Melissa and I have been friends since we were kids, and we've hung out places, and we can work out together, and we talk about it, and it just makes it so much more fun than doing it alone. And but I have built a business through social media, through Facebook alone. And I know there's other people who use Twitter, but the thing is, there's 300 million plus people in the nation, and everybody knows everybody. I mean, you can meet one person and they can link you to other people. And the thing is, everybody wants to feel better, and they might not jump on right away. But they will watch you silently. And the thing is, you have to start this for you, and you have to focus on you. But I've built a business on social media. Probably 50% of my team are people that I have met through social media, and never laid eyes on them, and we have a great relationship. I have a coach that just joined today. She found me through doing some research and watched all my YouTube videos. Like, I just realized right before I got on the call what she looks like. She knew what I look like because, okay, Rebel. She had watched all my YouTube videos, and she found me, and she trusted me because, videos like this. So you have that platform, through social media. So we're coaches. We teach you how to do it. So you have the ability, because I hear that all the time. I don't know anybody, but we've done it through just sharing. And there's also a thing that I tell people, because people think that Melissa and I, there's pictures of us in, our sports bras and shorts, and, I'm very raw. I tell, everything about all of my problems as a child, as an adult, the failures, and mistakes, and a lot of people think that they have to do that. So I want to be the first to tell you that if you're a coach and you decide to, share your journey, and you want to, see what you can do as a coach, you don't have to do what I do. You don't have to take a picture of you in your bikini. You don't have to take a picture of you in a sports bra. This is your business. There are no rules of what you can and can't do, and everybody's different. Everybody's audience is different. Everybody's personalities are different. And the last thing I want you to do is, if you didn't feel comfortable posting something that you thought that you had to do because I did it, because people are going to know that that's not you, that you have to have your personality. So I want you to know that if that's been something that's been deterring you, is that you feel like you have to bare your soul like me, or take a picture in a bathing suit, and that makes you uncomfortable, you don't have to do that. And there's other types of coaches, and this is what I tell people, is that if you've been drinking Shakeology for more than a month or 2, you need to become a coach. I see people who are constantly scavenging to try to save a buck here and there. The Groupon is popular, Amazon and eBay are popular because everybody wants something cheaper. But for heaven forbid you give them the coach opportunity, and you have the chance of saving $15 a month, people, they won't. They would rather pay full price than become a coach, because it's scary. And like I tell everyone, like, you can be a coach behind the scenes, you can be a discount coach, and nobody even has to know. But my thing is, if you love the products, if you love Shakeology, why pay full price? And another thing that people don't realize, because I don't want to sell, and I tell people, like, everybody has 3 close friends or family members out there. They do. Not everybody, just because they're your family or your friends, want to support you or join you on the journey. But if you have 3 people that join you on the journey, you can basically recoup the money that you have paid out in your challenge pack, like I did. And if you have 3 Shakeology customers, it could be a coworker, a best friend, a sibling, cousin, whatever, then that pays for your monthly Shakeology. So you can work it whatever way you want to make sure that you don't have to pay anything out of pocket. And I told somebody that I'm like, just have 3 customers. They're like, oh, that's really simple, because I think that people have this pressure of being a coach of what's expected. The good thing about Beachbody, and Melissa posted about this the other day, is she had looked into going into network marketing or something like this where she could work from home, and I was part of some MLMs years ago, and you had to spend hundreds of dollars for inventory. You had to go bring tubs of all your inventory and go do a show in people's homes, and that was always odd hours of time. You had to find sitters, and you'd have to package stuff up and deliver. And with Beachbody, you don't. You buy your challenge pack, you can sign up for free. If you bought a challenge pack in the past, you can sign up and pay the $39.95 sign-up fee, and they will refund it. That's a lot what people don't understand. You don't ever have to have any outside sales. You don't have to go into any homes. You don't have to run a fit club. You don't have to get on any of our calls. You don't have to go to Vegas, or well, it's not anymore, but you don't have to go to Summit. This is your chance. But if you do give your heart and soul to it like I have, you can really have a fulfilling life and become a better person, forge really great friendships with people, and feel better about yourself. And Beachbody is changed my life. It's made me a better person. The amounts of things that they do, that they pour into us, and they really listen to us, makes you feel special. They're good about recognizing, and that was one thing that I told my new coach today. Was that, she asked me, what kind of benefits? And I've never really thought. I was like, oh, there's some benefits. I never really, I guess I take it for granted since I'm doing that. So I thought I'd highlight that on the call too. There, certain reward programs. I mean, last month, Ryan and I both won 2 personal development books. The Compound Effect from Darren Hardy, and GoPro from Eric Warr. He won 2, and I won 2 for our efforts of helping people. I already own those books, so I'm going to gift them to people who are on my team who need that. There are, sorry, kids sitting. This is my life. I have been able to take my kids to Disney World on a free trip last March, and that's where we really connected with my coach and her family, and that to me was something that was huge, because I always asked my parents, they never could afford to take me to Disneyland. My grandparents took me every year from almost 2 to 8, and then they said, I'm too old, can't do this. I always begged them to take me to Disney World, and they're like, we can't make that trip. And so it was like I was 30-something years old, and I was able to finally be able to achieve a childhood dream and do this for my kids. And I don't have to look at my kids and say I can't afford it. I've learned to teach them what to do to be able to work around it. There's not just a no, we can't go. We were able to go on a cruise for free, and with 1,000 onboard credit in March, and Melissa was there and all of our team, and then that's how her husband and my husband and me, like, we become very close. And this is where it's not all about fitness. I mean, we worked out on the cruise, but I mean, these are things we get to do. If you're a new coach, there's a new program called Success Starters, where you can win a private call with Carl Deichler, our CEO, and I've been on it with several of my coaches who got into this program by their achievements, and his calls are 100%. They're not recorded, they are live, and everyone's different, and he has awesome things to say. You could also win a ticket to Summit if you are in the Success Starters program, and I know that one of our coaches on our team was working really hard on that. She wanted to win her ticket, and she worked hard by simply helping people, and she got her free ticket to Summit that's going to be in Nashville next year. That's a big, big thing here. Okay, I got muted. Am I muted? Can you hear me now?
Yep, you're good.
Okay. I got muted. They have all these different programs, and I think it's in September, whenever you achieve certain ranks, and that's based on just who you've helped. You get, there's going to be apparel that they have to recognize you. We get to go on another trip to Scottsdale next month, no, September, because of the achievements I've made, and we got to go to Dana Point, California last year with travel cash. So I mean, the thing is, you work hard just simply sticking to your goals and helping other people and not being perfect. Lord knows, if you've ever read any of my posts and watched me, I'm not perfect, I fall off the wagon and get back on. It's just the circle of, the fitness and weight loss journey that it is. I'm nothing special. I didn't believe in myself. I was, suffered abuse and, like I said, anxiety and depression my whole entire life. And there's days I struggle with that, but I do that. And I know that I've had a lot of bad things happen to me this year. And so I'm telling you, like, my life's not perfect, but I couldn't have gotten through it, and I couldn't sit here and say I'm okay if it wasn't for my team, if it wasn't for my coach, if it wasn't for, the support of the, and if it wasn't for Team Beachbody, what they've done to make me realize I'm worth it. I deserve a good life, and that I need to believe in myself. And that's priceless. It's priceless. I mean, and I see so many people who struggle. I see it in their posts on Facebook. They're so sad and they're so angry, and they're the victim, and they just think that they've been dealt a shitty hand, and they don't realize that it's all within your reach. So those are just some things I wanted to share. Essentially, we have some challenge packs that are on sale every month. This month, in the month of July, we have PIO, which is a new program, which I was in the test group before it actually hit the shelves, and I can attest it was a wonderful program. We have a new program, 3-day refresh, $140. You can sign up. You can start a business with endless income off of $140. That's pretty awesome. There's no overhead. You don't have to leave your family if you don't want to. You don't have to go do parties and where you don't have to deliver orders. That's huge. I mean, in 2 years, I have built a 6-figure income business with no college degree, with plenty of failures, no sales experience, just learning as I go. And I get the freedom to be with my kids. I get to travel. I get to spend time. We went on a 12-day road trip where I got to spend time with Tom and Melissa. They came up to my mother-in-law's house in Tahoe, and we got our kids together, and we made memories. And we were brainstorming about the business. It was just amazing, and those are the things. Tom and Melissa were able to go on a cross-country road trip in 2012, and they came here to my home, and they stayed for 2 days, and we got to, we've known each other our whole entire life, and we found each other in MySpace, found each other on Facebook, and it's like, hey, catch up, oh, you like each other's pictures, but, we didn't have anything in common anymore than the fact that we were friends in school, and now we have everything in common. And I mean, we rekindled that friendship. One of my coaches on my team now, we grew up when we were little together. Our parents were the same religion, and we talked today for the first time on the phone. I mean, like, I haven't heard her voice since we were she was 8 or 9, and it was the same thing. She decided that, like, hey, I love Shakeology. I no longer have migraines, and that was her selling thing. Like, I need to work out. I just had a baby, and I have horrible migraines, and I can't live with this. I'm gonna try Shakeology because I think it'll help. And she's migraine free. I mean, it's partly exercise and eating well. It's not. I'm not saying that Shakeology cures migraines, but it did help. And and then we reconnected. We're not just the kids that grew up together years ago, but now we have a connection. So that's big. So that's all I have to say there. I just want everybody to know that I believe in you, and I believe that no matter what you can do this. I do know that there are some people who are naturally they take off and go because they are not afraid to share their journey. They're maybe really good with people, or they've been using the products for a really long time and people have been watching, then they became a coach. Every story is different, but I do believe with the right support system, the right people believing in you, and a group of people who are leading you, no matter what. Some people take a little bit longer to learn how to develop relationships with people or be able to feel good about themselves where they don't have a problem sharing. But in the end, you can do this, and I know you can do it, and I just want to let you know that I believe in you. And we all have different stories, so I'm going to turn it over to Melissa. I'm going to do it Melissa Galway because she's in the car, and so I know she probably is with her kids and everything. So Melissa is from Northern California, where I'm from. We've never met. We found each other through Facebook, and she was really struggling, and she had insanity, and that's a really hard program to start with. But she really, gave it her all, and she never gave up. And I wasn't pushing her. I knew that she was coach material. I knew it, but she didn't believe it. And I never forced her. I never wasn't about making money. I just always checked up on her. And we talked for the first time on the phone, oh gosh, I think in December, maybe it was January, and we just really clicked. We both cried on the phone when we were talking about her why, and she joined my team in February, and I met her at Summit. She drove, I think, 8 or 12 hours to Vegas from where she's from with her other coach who had to leave a baby behind, an infant child, and was pregnant with her third child. And the other mom was breastfeeding, but they made this trek to Summit because they knew it was important and they wanted to meet all of us. And I'm proud to say that she went diamond in 3.5 months. And even with a busy career and 2 kids and a baby on the way, she's not going anywhere. So I wanted her to be able to share her story a little bit because, some of you may connect and understand, her story. Are you there?
Yep, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So thanks for giving me the opportunity, Mindy. Like Mindy was saying, we had a lot of commonalities. I had followed Mindy for probably close to a year before I really worked up the courage to even consider coaching. I had a very busy career. I had 2 failed attempts at insanity, so I didn't feel like I could really inspire anyone the way that Mindy's her journey, because I hadn't completed a program. I was pretty inconsistent with drinking Shakeology until December because I was so focused on the price. And even though I made the money to be able to drink it, I didn't think that I was going to see any real results. I was more concerned about drinking on the weekends, and that was really hindering my performance with my workouts during the week because I would do really well all week, and then on the weekends I would drink 2-3 bottles of wine with my girlfriends or with my husband, and I would blow it. So I continued to give up. But as I watched Mindy, I really connected to her because she was very open about the things in her life, and the things she was talking about, they just hit home for me. I reached out to her, I think it was in January, and we had our first call, and I just told her, like, I was tired of sending my kids, to daycare when they were sick, and I was tired of feeling uncomfortable in my clothes because for me, I've always been a big shopper, but I was at a point where I didn't like the way I looked. I mean, I was tempted not to send out my Christmas pictures last year just because I wasn't comfortable. And so we had talked a little bit about a program, the 21-day fix that was getting ready to come out. And she said, give it a try. If it's not for you, what are you going to lose? You can get your money back. It's risk-free. And so I decided that on February 7th, I was going to try it. I was still really sketchy about the price because I saw more, for me at that point, I thought there was more value in going and spending, $140 on something that wasn't going to last. I had been through every single product you could think of, every single diet pill, Weight Watchers, you name it. I had failed at everything. So I thought, why not give it a shot? And honestly, the 21-day fix was my soulmate program. I had been sharing my journey through some pushing from Mindy, not really pushing. She just kept encouraging me, share your story. People are going to connect to you. And they did. And in about 5 months, I've built a pretty strong team, and I'm happy with where we're at. But I can't say enough about what coaching has done for me. Tonight I was scrambling to get here because I just got done finding out the sex of my third child. We're having a girl and we have 2 boys. I haven't shared that on Facebook yet, so you guys are lucky to hear this. But it's like my husband knew that I had to get this called in, so he was rushing dinner because he knew that it was important. Melissa's texting me her address so that I can, come to her house because it wasn't loading on my phone. We're a team that works together and supports each other. Every week, I mean, it's not just about the money, but I do have an income where it is providing additional things in our lives that we didn't I couldn't make a full credit card payment before. because I was constantly making the minimums. I was invited to go in October with Team Diesel Nation to Florida. I know that that's possible. Pregnant, 2 kids at home, a full-time career. I know that I'm able to do that because of Beachbody. Without this opportunity and without the pushing of my team and Mindy helping and supporting me, I wouldn't be able to do these other things. Mentally, I think I'm in such a different place than I was in December, than I was even 2 months ago. I've always been a person who likes to have a lot of people around me and has always had a lot of friends, but I don't feel like I have to have that anymore because I'm not constantly looking for somebody's approval. I've been going through a lot of self-development with Beachbody, which is something that you will get, and just knowing that I have a team that backs me and supports me in anything that I do, and that I can, if I'm struggling one day, I can send Mindy a text message, or anyone on my team. They have my back 100%. It's about building relationships and helping people grow and change their lives, and that is exactly what Beachbody has done for me, and that is exactly what it has done for every single person who I know is a part of this journey. So the $140 investment, I made it back in the first week. I can't say enough about it. It's definitely not a non-negotiable for me in my life. It's a part of who I am, and my children talk about Beachbody all the time. They want to know, they wanted to be here with me tonight, but I sent them with my husband. They're excited about the things that are happening in our lives. I know that I'm going to be able to stay home with my kids, even if it's just part-time next year, because of the income and the life that I'm building with Beachbody.
Thank you for sharing your story, and congratulations to the baby girl that's coming. I'm excited, and I was one of the first people to know that she was pregnant, and the first to know that it's a girl. So these are the things that it's not just about, what size clothes you wear. Like, these are exciting moments. Like, I was thrilled for her. Like, I wanted her to have that girl, and it's just exciting to be an important person in somebody's life. It's huge. So anyways, thank you for your time, and tell Dom and the boys thank you for giving you up for a little bit. Drive safe. So I'm going to turn it over to Melissa now, the other Melissa, CML. This is
Thanks,
Melissa.
guys.
We went to school together. Huh? Oh, we went to school together, and we were hell raisers. We drank lots of Coors Lights, smoked lots of cigarettes, ate lots of Taco Bell. But, we stayed friends. But a little more about her stories come out. The times we spent together, and the more that I think she's more open to talk about it. There's things that she's going to share about her story that I didn't know, and I think a lot of you can probably connect with this. And I'm just so proud of everything she's done. And we were a wreck as teenagers, and I gotten to know her husband, and he is a really good man, and he's everything she deserves. He's an excellent dad, and I'm proud to have him on our team. And that's a big deal. We went to school together, and these are things that matter. My husband sends gifts to her husband, like just off the wall stuff, and we're strangers, and they just send each other silly shit. And this is what it is. This is not just about business. This isn't a pyramid scheme like people think. This is about connections, and I love them. And Sunday night, I'm doing a call about how to get your spouse to support you in your journey and in coaching. And Tom, her husband, is going to be on the call. My husband said he'll do it. He's real nervous. He doesn't really like to, to talk. But I was like, just act like you're talking to Tom. So these are the things that we're working together, because Ryan's like, I'm going to support you. And then Tom came in, and he felt a little more comfortable. Like, we're just normal people, and we're just trying to share with you what we're doing. So anyways, I'd like Melissa to tell her story about, because she has a kind of completely different story, why she became a coach.
Okay, thank you for having me on. Mindy and I, like she said, we go way back to high school. We grew up together and got in a lot of trouble together, had a lot of good times. She moved away to Texas when we were young, and we didn't see each other for a long time. And then we connected over Facebook. And when I was introduced to not just the coaching opportunity, but Beachbody for the second time, because we had purchased P90X, I think, in 2010, and it was kind of a failed attempt. But at that time, the company didn't have the lead program, and so I was never contacted by a coach, which we now do that. So anyways, I saw her post on Facebook one day that she was starting P90X and a challenge group, and I had no idea what a challenge group was, and that she was going to be drinking Shakeology. I had just had my second baby. I was well over 200 pounds. With this pregnancy, I got hit by postpartum pretty bad. I was going to a marriage and family therapist once a week, trying to work out all that stress and all that stuff. And I knew that I didn't want to end up on depression medication. I didn't want to have to go there every week for the, many years. Our marriage was just kind of rocky, but my husband was always supportive. So I saw her post this. I reached out to her and I was like, what's this challenge group thing? I own P90X. We've been debating on joining the local gym, but between my husband's working graveyard schedule and we had one child in preschool and a newborn, I was trying to figure out how we were going to drive to the gym and each do a class in the 2-hour time frame and pay extra to have the kids there and what it was going to cost and all this stuff. And I was like, this is way too complicated. I can't do this. And so I saw her post this. I asked her and she said, yeah, I'm going to open this challenge group. You should check it out, blah, blah, blah. So I told Tom, why don't we just do P90X again? We already own it. And so he was kind of like, okay, So I asked her about Shakeology because I had seen it previously, and I'll be honest, the first time that I looked at it, I thought it was an overpriced protein powder, and I thought I can go to Walmart or GNC or wherever and buy a giant jug of protein powder for half the price, and I never looked at it again until then. So she told me a little bit of information about it, just that she had started drinking it. I think she was a coach and been drinking it for 2 months when I made contact with her, and I said, well, let me take a look and let me talk to Tom, and we're on a tight budget. We just had a baby and we only have one income, and we actually had around, I'm not sure the exact number, but between like $50,000 and $60,000 in debt. We had lost a house a couple years previous to that, I think 2 years to foreclosure, and we had tons of credit card debt and all kinds of ridiculous bills. And I knew that it was something that if I was going to buy it for myself, my husband was going to be drinking it too. And I just thought for two of us, that's an outrageous amount of money. So I talked to him and I said, well, first he was like, who is this girl? And so I told him who she was and what she was doing. And his reaction was kind of like, okay, let's start the program and work out. I'll do that with you, because he's got an athletic background, so he had no problem wanting to work out. But the nutrition part, he wasn't a super big fan of, and he just kind of said, okay, if that's what's going to make you happy to order it, then just go ahead and do it. So I joined her challenge group, I think around like April 16th, and I think I ordered Shakeology that day on my credit card that was very close to being maxed out because we did not have the money in the bank to purchase it. I ordered one bag just to try it out, and I told her, I'm going to order one bag, we're going to try it out and see what happens. And I knew the same thing, that I could get my money back if we didn't like it, and so I knew that I wasn't risking too much except for the shipping cost. So I don't even think that I received my Shakeology by the time I signed up as a coach, because I think I signed up like 4 days later. And so I told her, I don't want to be promoting like you are. I'm not looking to sell people a product and have home parties. I looked into that same possibility, and everywhere, requires you to buy a bunch of stuff and have parties on the weekends and nights when you want to be at home with your kids. And so I just said, that's not where I want to go with that. And she just said, okay, you can just get this discount and that's fine. So that's what we did. After we drank Shakeology for 2 weeks, I knew that we would drink it forever. It was like great for my sugar cravings. It cured my IBS, which I was taking all kinds of stupid probiotics for that cost a fortune. So I got, quit buying that, and that saved us on Shakeology as well. And so I think within my 30 days of the first phase of P90X, I sent her my pictures. She encouraged me to do my pictures. And she told me, you got to put those on Facebook. Like, there's such a huge difference. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. I'm not putting these on Facebook. That's like, no freaking way. And she's like, well, I did it, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, but you are already small. which didn't mean anything. You know, who cares if she was small? She was smaller than me. That's all I was looking at, but she didn't feel comfortable how she was. So, but she still did the same thing. So she convinced me. I'm like, all right, I'll put them on Facebook. So I did, and I got a huge response. All I did was share that I've been doing P90X again for 30 days, and we got a huge response. And so I kind of got a taste of what coaching was about at that time, and she was kind of like, see, people are interested. So slowly I, started asking her a little bit more, and she was kind of like brand new still at the same time, so we were just bouncing stuff off each other. As she learned, she shared it with us. There was no rhyme or reason. There was no, structure like there is now that we're a little bit more seasoned. And from there, it just has blossomed. One bad credit card spending choice of many in my life, because we're not great spenders, turned out to be one of the best decisions in my life. I was able to, I didn't actually start working the business, I guess you could say, for about 2 months, but I earned back our initial, amount of the 2 bags by my second month. But since then, I have found new customers and new people via social media who have either found us through my husband, watching our weight loss story, or in person locally at my daughter's school or my husband's work. And we found people that way, and on Facebook, and they've followed me the same as Mindy has a lot of followers, and I've connected with people being on the stay-at-home mom level. I didn't want to go back to work and leave my kids and have to put them in daycare, because honestly, I would have been making the same amount of money it costs for daycare, so I didn't really see the point in doing that. And this has allowed us to bring home an extra income. I've been able to, I think we've eliminated all of that debt, and then I bought my husband a motorcycle, so now we have that. But, that allowed us to be able to not have to make all the sacrifices in our life of not being able to go see friends. Like Mindy mentioned, we went on kind of a half cross-country vacation where we drove all around and got to go down to Texas and visit them. We never would have been able to do that without Beachbody, nor would we have been able to go on the cruise in March to Grand Cayman or take my kids to Disneyland at Christmas time. So all of those things have come about, and I have coaches on my team as well who I had never met, and got to meet, later on down the road and at Summit, and have built relationships with as well. And it's been something that has tightened up our marriage. We've come to terms with, he encourages me to exercise because I don't enjoy it always, and I encourage him to eat better, so we balance each other out, so that works. It took time, but we've been able to influence our kids. They come out into the garage and work out with us. And they talk about Beachbody all the time as well. So being able to do those things without having to leave my family constantly for some crappy 9-to-5 has been a huge blessing for us. Now we have goals to be able to buy a house again after we lost our other house, and those goals are real now, and that's happening for us, hopefully the beginning of next year. So those are the kinds of things that come into play, and the personal development that you've heard them talk about, that was a huge part. In the beginning, I remember when Mindy first mentioned personal development, and I was like, I don't need that shit. That's what we all think. We all think we don't need it. We all think we're great and dandy. But then you start to see the difference when you do dive into it, and it's really helped. It helps with your confidence, which is where a lot of people fail. We're all afraid to fail. We all think that people are going to laugh at us, or they're going to reject what we're doing, because so many people, turn the other way at health and fitness. But who cares what other people think? It's about you when you start, and your health, and what you want to do with your body, or if you have any kind of ailments, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, that kind of stuff, and you're trying to get off of medication or not take medication, these are the things that can help, and that's what we help people with. And support them. And so I guess that's all. That's kind of the main components of my story and where it's brought me today. I can't imagine, some days I think I get frustrated if I, haven't I don't know, haven't met new people, or, there's little things that you get kind of frustrated with, and I think, what would I do if I just quit? Then what would I do? Like nothing. I would be so bored. Would I just get rid of all my, happy, awesome coaches on Facebook? No. So, every day it's a drive to keep going, and keep reaching new goals, and my own personal goals, and helping others reach their goals in their fitness, their health, and their business. So, yay, best decision ever.
Thank you for sharing. One thing that I want to point out in case any coaches are watching this or coach watches it later on, I do encourage all coaches to do a coach opportunity call, because whereas their stories were great, people are going to connect with you. But I want to say this, I did my first challenge group. It was in April of P90X. Looking back, probably starting a challenge group with P90X, which was one of the most extreme programs out there, probably it wasn't the best. And I learned so much along the way that now I really take time to get to know somebody and find out what their goals are. I mean, obviously they owned it and they, completed 60 days before. But the thing is, like, that's the thing is, like, I didn't know what I was doing, and I was like, oh, you should do a challenge group. Well, there wasn't all the training like there is now, and I didn't know what a challenge group was, and I didn't know, like, and when she asked me what's a challenge group, and I was like, oh crap, like I don't know. But she was my first, challenge group. And as you're a coach, you know that there's, one of our goals each month is Achieving Success Club, and I've done it every month. But she had P90X on her own. She bought like one-time supply of Shakeology, and if you're a coach, you know that means no Success Club points. But so I see so many coaches who get so frustrated about this. So here it is, my first attempt at a challenge group, which was 2 months into me being a coach, and I only got one person who owned the program and bought it on one-time order. So the thing is, you can look at where I'm at now. I'm an elite coach. I've helped so many people, but like I started where you did. Like I started not knowing what I was doing, and here was one of my long-term friends, and here I was. I couldn't even get her to be like, do the coach and become a coach, and it took days later. So my thing is, like, I want you to know we all started somewhere, and the thing is, she was struggling, and that's the thing is, like, we were friends and we did communicate on Facebook. I remember when she had Calliope, I didn't know how to say the kid's name. I just knew it was spelled different. Now I know her name, but but I never knew. I didn't know until about a year ago that she was suffering from severe postpartum depression. I had that with Haley, and my thing is, like, I wish she could have told me. And she didn't tell me that when, she's like, well, I don't know about the money thing. Like, I didn't know that she, placed it on a almost maxed out credit card. That's like a leap of faith. And, and that's why I tell everybody with my decision, it's like, my coach, it was a calculated decision, lots of weeks put in thinking about whether I should do this or not. I was just like, well, hell, I've run out of reasons to tell you no. Might as well. And it was an impulse decision and the best decision I made. But one last point that I always want to tell people about Melissa, and the same thing with another one of my diamond coaches who are really close to, is Sam, is that they both were like, legit, they both were like, we're probably going to return this, and that's the only reason we're buying it, but, we are open to this, and we don't believe in paying full price. We're trying to save, money. And they were very explicitly clear that they did not want to be posting all crazy, like, fitness stuff, and, because, if you ask Melissa, I was like the laziest person she knew, and Sam like owned the local bar, and like we would close the bar down, on weekends. So it was, they were like, well, let's see how it goes, but they trusted in me, and I never pushed them, but if I provided them with the same information that I did everybody else. So I said, if you don't want to, that's fine, but let's do a call. I'd like to set up a call to kind of get to know your goals, and here's some information. You can start the Coach Training Academy. Both of them did it, and they finished it like in a day or two. Like there's like, and Louise is, I think, the only other person that actually did that, and I think Nikki too. But most people didn't. But then once they were seeing what was involved, that's when they were like, oh, well, I could do this. And I just guided them at their own pace. Like I said with Melissa Galmay, I believed in her from the beginning, and I just checked up on her. She had to believe it in herself. So if you're a coach, and I hear this all the time, like if you have a coach, it's like, well, they're just out coaches, and you never work with them. You never provide them the same information. If you send them instructions on how to start the Coach Training Academy and they don't do it, or you try to get with them to do a one-on-one call and they don't have time, that's not your problem, but that is you should at least try that, because sometimes you'll be surprised at what they'll do. And don't prejudge them, and don't forget about them. You know, like Melissa said, she was, you know, open to the possibilities, but it took her about 2 months to really kind of get comfortable to do that. I'm like a rare breed. I just thought that a lot of people do this, and I found out from going to events and listening to coaches that most coaches do take a while. So if you're if you sponsor people, don't forget about your people and don't just write them off as forever discount coaches. Work with them to help them get their transformation, help them believe in themselves, and show that you believe in them, because that little bit of a chance that you give them or you take on them could actually be everything they need for their confidence so that they do join you and help other people. But if you don't believe in them and you forget about them, you know, they might always be a discount coach, or they may just cancel one day and you don't know. So anyways, I hope that I ramble and I don't ever have a script. This is a, you know, we got on the call and almost I'm like, hold on, I got to get my thoughts together. Like, I just speak from the heart. I always tell people, like, I'm kind of surprised when what I say. Like, I don't have anything planned. But if you have any questions, let me know. I want people to really realize what we do. This isn't about money. This is about people. This is about connections. And to get that first, you know, you saved my life, or thank you, or a picture of them in their pants that couldn't fit in, and, you know, we've known each other, and in the event by Facebook on the Google thing, is I did a collage of her, and if you look at the picture of her on her before picture, I don't see an overweight person. I just see a really unhappy person. Like, she was unhappy, and I look at all of her pictures now, and she's smiling and laughing, and, you know, even when she's talking, like, she's a different person. That picture right there, it's not about what size waist you have or what size jeans you wear. Like, that's huge. Like, she was suffering, and I know so many people out there are too. I was really in a deep depression, and, you know, myself, and it's been our savior. So if you have any questions, reach out to any local coaches, reach out to us. You really need to find somebody that you connect with on a personal level. We're all here to help, so I hope that maybe we calm a little bit of your fears. And if you're not ready to take the leap, that's fine, but we're not going to go anywhere. So when you're ready, we're here. So thank you for the time. Been an hour, so have a good evening. I am doing another call it's open to the public again, about the power of recognition with Kim Lima tomorrow night at 8:30, same time, and we're doing one about how to get your family and spouses to support you with a husband and my husband on Sunday at 8:30. So tune in. You can find it on my YouTube channel. So have a good evening.
Thank you.